Hello everyone, and welcome to Slice, Print, Roleplay. In this episode, I'm going to show you how to resize your model in your slicer so that you can use it in just about any tabletop game. Alright, let's get to it. Alright, so if you're anything like me, you probably have a pretty good picture in your head for different creatures in a fantasy world. So when I say the word goblin, you probably come up with a medium-sized green creature with long ears, pointy teeth that's maybe mildly intelligent to really intelligent, mischievous, something along those lines. I know for me, I tend to think of a more traditional goblin from some of the older Lord of the Rings cartoons, because that's what I grew up watching. So that's my reference when it comes to goblins. Everybody's different, and that's kind of what I wanted to show here, that you can, to some extent, scale your models to fit with your own personal idea for a different creature. So for example, we're going to be using this really cool pirate goblin from an upcoming Kickstarter, which I'm really excited about, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. For now, when I think of a goblin, I want it to be roughly 3 feet tall when compared to another creature that is equal to about 6 foot. So an average size for a human in most fantasy worlds, at least. Alright, so how do we resize this goblin so that it fits better with the specific idea that we're going for? For me, I like using this really cool reference model from Dutch Mogul. It's called Sir Scalesby, and it's really cool. It comes in a ton of different scales, so whatever size you like to use on your table, you'll be able to find a really good reference. For me, I like to use the 32mm scale as a rough guideline, just because I feel like those models have a really good amount of detail without being so big that they take up the entire table with just a few models. So this is the 32mm version of Sir Scalesby, which is roughly a 6 foot tall human. And using that as a reference, I can now resize my goblin to get it to fit better with the idea I have for the rough size that goblins should be in my world. Now, by far, the simplest way to do that is to just select the model that you want to change and go to your scale option. And most slicers, pretty much every slicer, will give you the option to change the model's scale. So this will work for FDM printing and resin printing. Now from here, you can adjust any one of these 3 options, or you can come down here and adjust the actual numbers themselves. Now, before you change any values, it's really important that you make sure you have uniform scaling selected. In most slicers, this is going to be a check icon or some kind of a lock icon like we have here. Now, make sure that that's locked, because if you don't, what will happen is the model will get warped out of shape because you're just changing it in one direction and not all of them equally. So you want to make sure that that's locked so that all values change equally. And then in Lychee Slicer, for whatever reason, even if I have it locked, if I want to grab one of these and move it, it still allows me to move it only in that one plane. So I'm not sure if that's a glitch or if it's a feature. Either way, what I would do is just grab the little white box here in the center, and then you can scale up to make the model bigger, or you can roll down to make it smaller. And this is just holding down the left mouse button to select and moving up or moving down. Now, it's going to automatically drop to the build plate every time I let go. It's still a little bigger than what I think I want a goblin to be, but that looks pretty good. I think I like that. So let's look at them both together. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good to me. So roughly half the size. And again, I personally really love the idea of there being some variety in your models. So not every model, not every goblin I print is going to be the exact same size, because not every human you run into in the world is the exact same size. So having, models of the same race, having some variety is going to make everything feel a little bit more real and more organic. But that's just me. I mean, obviously this whole tutorial is to give you the tools to do whatever you want. Now, one thing I wanted to mention about Sir Scalesby, or just scaling in general, is if you look at this model, and this is considered to be our reference for 32mm, you can see that it's actually 36.57. And that's by design, it's not an accident, because when it comes to model scales, it's actually measured from the bottom of their feet to their eye line. So if we come over here and grab the measuring tool, and we measure from Scalesby's eye down to the bottom of his foot, we should get pretty close to 32mm. Now, my measurement's probably a little off, which is why that's not perfect, but it's probably dead on 32mm if I was measuring from the right point. So if you bring this model in and you're trying to use it as a reference, it's not wrong, it's actually the way that it's supposed to be. So before moving on, I want to give a huge shout out to Embersmith Creative. They're the ones that modeled this awesome pirate goblin, and they've teamed up with Mini Hoarder so that you can get it for free. All you have to do is go over to Mini Hoarder, you can find a link down below, and sign up for their newsletter, and you'll have access to this awesome model. And if you like that model, you should definitely go check out Goblinz, Mischief and Madness, coming live to Kickstarter in just a couple days, or depending on when you're watching this, it's already live, so definitely go check it out. It's a really cool collection of goblin models, with each one being totally different from the last one with a ton of personality. I'm super excited about that and all the other extras that are coming to that Kickstarter, so definitely go check it out. I'll have a link in the description down below. Now, there is one caution I want to give you. Be careful not to make your models too small. One sign that you've made your model too small is if you slice it and then look at the preview and see that some of the details are completely gone. Basically, that's the slicer realizing those parts are too small for it to reliably print, so it just omits them from the model entirely. This will be a bigger concern for FDM printers than with resin printers, but it can still happen, so it's just something to be wary of. Specifically, on this model, if it was scaled down, I imagine the tips of the ears wouldn't print very well, the hammer on his pistol wouldn't print, and then the floompers on his hat wouldn't print very well either. So, it's just be careful not to scale it down too far, because you don't want to lose your floompers. That's my advice for today. And that's it. Like I said, it's a really easy process, but I know that this can all be a bit confusing when you're first starting out, so I hope this video helps you with that. If you have any questions, of course you can put them in the comments down below. I'm always happy to help. And if you did find this video helpful, please like and subscribe. It helps the channel and I really appreciate it. And if you like the work that I'm doing here and you want to support my channel, you can find all my Patreon information down below. Alright, now let's go print something.